Hello, everyone, and welcome to what's the first episode of Wind Down with Hasi and Angie. We're your hosts. I'm Hasi,
I'm Angie. Hello, hello.
and we are doing this for the very first time. We're super excited. We've always talked about having our own little podcast and just sitting down, having a glass of wine, relaxing, and just chatting.
Gossiping.
Gossiping, talking
Talking
about
shit.
the mind, honestly. And with everything that's going on, it seems like a perfect time. So we decided to do it.
Awesome. Do you have your wine? What are you drinking?
I've got my wine, sis. We picked up this brand called Chloe. I don't know if you've heard of them
Oh
before.
yeah. Yeah, I have. Is it like a white wine?
It is. I picked up the white.
Yeah, that one's a good.
I'm not.
I
I'm, I'm not a big fan of the red wine. I'm more of a white gal myself.
I think it depends on my mood. I'm definitely a white wine in the summer, but like if I'm having like I don't know, I guess sexy time, then maybe some red wine, but I definitely feel like I can chug white wine a lot better.
Okay. And what are you drinking today?
I am having a nice glass of Riesling, some sweet white wine.
Ooh, so white wine today is the win.
Yes,
So, let's go ahead and start off with an introduction. Who are you, Angie? Why do I want to listen to you?
because I'm freaking amazing. I'm just kidding. All right, who am I? Who am I? I'm Angie. I am 20. Fuck, how old am I? 28 years old. I don't know. I almost forgot how old I was. I don't know if that's like something that happens with age or what, but I'm 28 years old. And I can't believe I'm almost 30. That's freaking crazy.
We're getting there.
I know, time flies. Seriously, I remember just turning 21 and now I'm almost 30. So I don't know how that happened, but I have a boyfriend named Eddie who I've been with for practically 7 years, practically forever. I'm already tired of him. Just kidding. And then I have a 4-year-old daughter, Madrina, who is the sassiest, craziest little 4-year-old ever. And then I just love doing things that make me happy, like hanging out with friends, doing makeup, anything creative. I've been doing like makeup and YouTube videos since I was 13. I have those videos on private, so don't go searching for them, okay?
Wait, what videos do you have on private?
Girl, remember all those old ones that I showed you with Hannah and Jarrett? Like we would make little skits back in the day when YouTube was all about skits. Like the old Shane Dawson and the old Smosh videos were like a big thing. And
Throwback.
yes, and I used to do those videos, and honestly, I don't even know where my YouTube would have been if I just kept up with it. But that is
Right? Just think
that
about what if I would have continued? Like maybe I would have been at their status.
And back then YouTube was so much easier and like more chill and laid back. Like someone could be sitting on their crappy Nokia phone doing makeup and you would have had like 50,000 subscribers like instantly. But now it's like it's a whole thing. But here I am trying to be famous. I'm just kidding.
Hi, podcast.
My podcast.
Okay, so how about you plug in your YouTube?
My YouTube. You mean you want me to send my handle?
Yes, sis, we would plug it here. And
Oh.
anybody that wants to check her out, you can check out her vlogs, check out her makeup looks, take a look at her Instagram, follow as well.
We'll put everything in the description, but mostly everything is just under Angie Lorraine. My YouTube is Angie Lorraine. My Instagram is Angie Lorraine 55, but I'll leave everything down below. All right. Well, who are you? I want to know about you.
Little old me, you ask. Let me have a little sip of wine.
Same. Cheers. Virtual cheers.
I know. We always talked about doing our podcast and how excited we'd be to have our room to do it in, record it, but under the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And social distance.
Yes, after everything gets lifted and things start to get a little better, we will film in my new little beauty/filming room.
Oh, yes.
So that's exciting.
Who am I, though? Who am I? My name is Hasiel Seguenza. I know how old I am. I'm 27 years old.
Wait, one more year and you're gonna forget.
Is it at 28 where you start to forget, you lose track? 27, born and raised here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have a variety of interests, honestly. I love to do yoga. I love to meditate. I'm really in touch with that side of myself. I love to sing. Just like Angie had her YouTube, I also started my YouTube about 8 years ago, and I would post covers of different songs, different artists, and that did pretty well for some time. But unfortunately, I did let go of that. Um, but my videos are still up if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. We'll leave all our information in the description below. Right now, I'm really getting into makeup, and that's something that Angie and I have been able to bond over, and it's been some of my favorite time. I've learned a lot from watching her videos, from when we do our lives, so I'm really getting into the side of makeup. So I love everything makeup right now. Love to travel. I've been fortunate enough to be able to see a lot in this world before everything started to happen. So maybe we'll be able to get into that in a little bit here. But I am married. I've been married with my husband, Jared, who is Angie's best friend.
No,
we've
he's
been married
not.
for
Just kidding.
I'm sorry.
And I'm joking.
We've been married for about 2 years now, but we've been together for a total of 9 years this February.
Craziness.
Yes, I never thought, um, you know, I would be here today, but I am grateful. We just opened our doors to a little one who entered our lives on 4/20/20.
Hey.
A little 18-month-old. His name is Augustus. We've been dads for about a week now. And girl, I give you so much credit. I give you props.
Girl, I mean, I don't even know how people do it with 2, 3, even 4 kids. I don't understand. It is so hard, so time consuming. I guess some people are just meant to be parents, but I mean, on the other hand, I'm over here with a wine. I'm like, can you just go play over there?
Right? Or if you're complaining about just one child and there's people, like my mom had 5 children.
I can't. I don't know how.
They were all like in the same, like almost like fall, like
Right.
I'm 27, my brother's 26, my sister's 25. She took like a little break and then she had the last two, which are kind of like similar in age too. But we're all over the age of 18. But I don't know how parents do it, but it's something that I am loving. We did go through the foster care process, so we are licensed foster care parents. So that is something that I'm going to be talking a lot about. Talk a lot about on here. My experience, what I'm going through, maybe reaching out to those who maybe are foster parents or are thinking about becoming foster parents. Let me know what your experience is. Let me know what your questions are. We can help each other out.
Yeah.
I've started to see how it is a handful, and but it is a beautiful thing. It is a really beautiful thing. But that's my little intro. I'm a little, I'm a blast in a glass.
Oh, girl.
I like to think.
Yes.
But no, actually, sometimes I'm a blast in a glass. I don't know if this is the case with you, but I'm an introvert. I prefer to stay home. With a glass of wine, with a nice book on my weekends. That's that. But after this whole coronavirus and this quarantine, I'm ready to hit the bars.
You're like, I'm ready to do hood rat shit with my friends again.
For real, I miss us.
I know. I wanna be an introvert on my time, but now that I want to go out or I want to hang out with my friends, it's getting warmer. It's getting nicer outside. Today is gonna be 90 degrees. Like, I would love to be filming this in person together. I would love to be having a glass of wine together. But things will get better. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm seeing it. So we're gonna hard times.
We will, as long as everybody does their part, washes their hands, and stays indoors.
Right. Well, speaking of you and your husband being together for 9 years, that is how long we've known each other.
That is. Congrats. Cheers to that.
Congrats. Like I don't have very long friendships, guys.
A 9-year friendship, though, that is something to celebrate nowadays.
Yeah, no, 9 years. Time has flown. I like it's only been like I mean, it feels like a very long time thinking back, but it really feels like time has flown. Like I can't believe it's been 9 years.
Doesn't it feel
But
like it was just yesterday that you were having like you were, celebrating my first drink at the age of what, 19? You guys had to
oh
chase me
yes.
because I
Oh my
couldn't control.
God. I don't that is a story for another time. But yes, I remember the first time I saw you. You were working at Portis's, and I remember Jarrett was like texting you, and he's like, "Oh, we should go get a sandwich," because we were hanging out. And then we walked in. I just remember seeing you with your like retainer and like your visor, your some visor and uniform. But that was the first time I had ever met you, and you made me a sandwich.
How did you like that sandwich, though? Was it a memorable sandwich? Do you still remember it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember me and Jared shared a veggie sandwich.
I was gonna say, I think that was a veggie sandwich at that time.
Oh yes, definitely a veggie sandwich. But
Okay. So, what did you
yeah,
think about me when you saw me right there?
I thought you were a stuck up. I'm just kidding. No, I'm
You
just
know what,
joking.
though? No, you're not, because I get that a lot.
Well, now, like knowing you, and if you were to have somebody over, like say, like if you had a party or something, you definitely have a stuck up face and attitude. But I just feel like it's just you being protective of yourself. I don't know what it is.
That's what I was gonna
You
say
you get
too.
moods like your bitchy face moods.
My resting bitch, and I do
Yes,
have my that I
and
have.
I do have one too. But no, the first impressions of you, like after hanging out with you or just kind of getting to know you, you were very, very shy and unexperienced. That's the vibes I got from you. Very, I guess, young. I mean, I was young too, but like you were just very like innocent.
Oh,
Definitely opposite from me. Like you had never drank, smoked, partied. Like I just remember like Jarrett would be like wanting to hang out or something, and you would be like, I can't leave my house. My parents won't let me. And then I'm just like, how old are you? Like you're like 19 years old?
19.
Yeah.
Girl, when you live in a Hispanic household, you are 27 years old and you're still following your mother's
Right.
orders.
Right. For
Maybe it's
sure.
a Hispanic thing.
But I remember
Um,
a couple times you had snuck out. I remember when you had that little
oh,
white car.
girl, it got to a point where I would sneak out every night to hang out with Jared. Jared and I started our relationship by me being able to like sneak out and hang out with him that way.
Oh my God.
Um,
He was just a bad influence. I'm just kidding. Oh my
okay,
gosh.
so that was your first impression of me. I was a little innocent. I was. A lot of people do tell me though that I look stuck up, or that it's terrible to say that I think I'm better or whatever. And I'm
Hmm.
like, shit, like I'm not that way. I do have a resting bitch face, and it's really bad. And I look in the mirror sometimes, and I catch myself doing it, and I try to smile, but it disappears after a couple of minutes. But I'm a total sweetheart, I think, and I think it is maybe something that I am creating a wall with strangers. Um, how about now? What do you think of me?
Now?
Don't answer that yet.
Okay. Well, okay, what did you think of me though? You were like,
My
she's
first
a
impression
bitch.
of you. My first impression of you, I was like, damn, that's a badass bitch.
You a
I think
lot.
no, for real, I'm telling you, I think the first picture I ever saw of you was a Halloween party that you maybe had, and you were Snow White. Jarrett was Peter Pan, I think.
Oh yeah, that I remember that
And
party.
I was like, damn, that is a bad bitch. So I was a
Oh,
little intimidated by you, honestly.
I think I
Um,
was very overwhelming. I think I think I still am like that. Like it's very hard for like I don't know, I just feel like I'm an overwhelming personality and sometimes people take that as a bad thing.
okay. No, I was just intimidated. Like you said, I was innocent. I was a little bit more innocent back then. I wasn't experienced, like you said. I grew up in a religious background, which we'll get into in a second. So seeing you and like having like parties and drinking and like smoking, I was like, damn, I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought you were a bad bitch, and I was a little scared of you, honestly. I'm like, I hope she likes me.
Aw.
So I kind of
I
felt like I had to. I
didn't.
felt like I had to impress you.
No, I definitely I remember when you guys first started dating and I was very immature at the time. Obviously our ages were just we were young, you know, and I was just like, okay, who is this guy? I mean, of course, Jerry I had dated before, but it was never like it was more of like just like puppy love, you know, like you guys they would hang out or whatever, but with you it was like completely different. And I was just like, who is this guy trying to take my best friend? And then he was like slowly not coming to my parties anymore, not hanging out
Oh,
with me, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I don't like this guy. Like something is wrong with this guy. No.
I stole him. I'm sorry, but now we're sharing, and
Right?
now I think the three of us are like in a
Like a three
non-sexual romantic relationship.
right? So yeah, I definitely felt like that was where maturity came in, and obviously we're different now. I just
No, I mean, you guys were best friends for how long before I got in the picture?
we were friends for I mean before you got in the picture, I'm trying to do the math, but we've been friends for 16 years. So I feel
So
like
you and I have been.
so wait,
So you and I have
9
been
years.
friends
Like 8 years? I'm like I'm bad at math.
for 9, 8, 20,
Right?
21.
But yeah, I just felt like I'm like, okay, like I see you guys getting in a relationship, and I felt like I obviously as time grew on, I knew you guys were very serious. And I definitely accepted you. Of course, obviously now look at us, we're having a podcast. But I mean I feel like I've changed a lot. Maturity especially comes with age, and I was at the time very closed off. I didn't trust anyone. My mind was immature. So that's why I would just like drink and party. But I feel like I've
But I
definitely
mean,
matured a lot.
yeah, we
What?
mature.
What are you trying
No,
to
I was gonna
say?
say no. Like, I don't know if you're saying like the whole immaturity came from you like partying a lot, and like I was like at that, but like at that age, that's what we were supposed to be doing. We weren't supposed to like be
Right.
mature. I think I get you though, where you're like who's this person coming in and like changing everything in a way? Because you guys were friends for
Yeah.
like a pretty long time. I never thought of it that way, honestly. But like looking at that, I'm like, shit. I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry I took your man.
Right? No, and I think it was also during like a rough time because at the time I was just getting out of a relationship. You remember that?
Oh,
And
I
I
do.
remember,
I'm gonna.
yeah,
I remember that.
you and I remember you and Jarrett coming to my apartment, my first apartment I ever had, and helping me load back up my car to
Yeah,
move back in with my parents. Do you remember that?
I remember that clearly. Yes.
Yeah. And so I feel like I was just going through like a rough patch. And then I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I would spend every waking moment with
Oh,
Jarrett, and now I'm alone. So it's just definitely getting, that's where the partying started happening. But I mean, I definitely lived my best life. It was definitely fun being single and, you know, all that crap. But I definitely have matured now. I have, instead of a big group of friends, I have a very small little group of
select
friends.
few. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, obviously, I have like different friend groups and that I love a lot. But like I just have like if we're to have something at my house, it would be like two people from each friend group, and that would be my friends, you know.
Okay. You have like a select that you can like go to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I definitely have like a small group of friends. But yeah, I just feel like I am more mature now and almost in my 30s. So what
Oh my
about
God, we're
you?
getting there. It's like
What
a freaking roller coaster. We're going up and up and up, and once we get to 30, it's like,
don't even say we're going down because 30s are going to be
no,
the
hell
most
no.
best lit days of our lives, okay?
I'm excited for my 30s. Has Jared ever told you what type of party he wants to have for his 30th?
No.
He wants to have like one of those colonial timed like parties.
What do you
Like with the
mean?
wigs, like those white like wigs and like the white powdered faces and like the big
Oh,
um
like the big poofy dresses, like the ones that have like
yes,
a thing inside where kind of like
yes,
Antoinette type style or what?
Marie Antoinette style, yes.
Oh, that
So
would be a
I
lot
think
of
that's
fun.
what people get excited. But no, I think once we get into our 30s, like that's when life really begins.
Right? Because I feel like we have our shit together, hopefully. I mean, life still throws its little curveballs at you, but I feel like obviously we're more settled. I mean, things will get better.
Oh
But
yeah,
what about you? What about where you're at now? Where are the differences between, you know,
my difference is like we said, your first impression of me was a little spot on when you said non-experienced, a little innocent. I did grow up in
Very.
a really strong Christian household. Um, I attended church, what, 4 or 5 times a week?
Yeah, it
Um,
was a lot. Remember that.
yeah, I had really, I don't want to say really strict parents, like, but it was just kind of like I had my rules and I need to obey my rules. But it wasn't until I moved out at the age of 19 where I started to get a little taste of life and everything that I kind of, had missed out on in a bit.
Hmm.
Um, had my first drink at the age of 19, like we discussed.
What did you drink? I can't even remember.
Shoot,
It
we
was
were making
liquor,
Jello
right?
shots. Yeah, we were making some sort of shot. I want to say Jello shots.
But it was something else too. Like you had drink. I think it was a mixed drink. Who was all there? It was me.
You, Jarrett, and I think Jetty. There was a picture of us
No, no, no,
doing
no,
the
no, no. Oh, wait.
Santi.
It was Santi.
Was it
Yes.
Santi?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Our best friend Santi. We were all hanging out, and we had a
Oh
couple
my
of.
God.
I had one drink, and that's all it took for me.
That was fucking hilarious. You were running around the neighborhood barefoot, and then we had to go get you.
And I remember that. So I was, needless to say, I was lightweight. But I think I handled my alcohol well now, 10 years later.
Now, yeah, thank God. Otherwise, I
But,
wouldn't be able to have this glass of wine.
like, adherent if I couldn't. But, no,
Hmm.
I, I'm, I drink now. I am an active cannabis smoker. I like to smoke here and there a little bit. So that's something that did change. I've noticed it kind of like mellows me down and it helps me with my mood swings and with like my emotions, I would say. So it is a big part of me today. Um, I've worked a lot of jobs. I've had a lot of experiences from customer service to travel agent to what I'm doing today, working from home. I found a perfect work from home opportunity that just requires me to sign on, answer a couple of customer service calls, and that's it. So I think I'm happy where I am right now. Like I've said, I've traveled a lot. Um, Back in 2009, I think the furthest place I had traveled out to would be El Salvador. Now, I'm happy to say I've been able to see Iceland, Amsterdam, Barcelona, France, all these beautiful places. So I think that has really opened my eyes and opened my mind as well. So I think I'm a lot more open minded now too, and that has helped.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like
I was
super jealous of all the stuff you've seen. Not jealous in a bad way. I'm just like super happy for you guys. Like that shit's amazing. I love seeing your pictures.
And a lot of people have told me, like, I love seeing your pictures. Like, I feel like I get to see these places because of you. And it kind of, like, makes me happy. And I'm like, I wish I can do this for a living. Kind
Oh
of be
yeah.
like a travel influencer. Like, imagine that if we can just do what
Oh
we love and get
yeah.
paid for it like that. Like, you do your makeup, you have your YouTube channel and got paid for that. If I can do the same with my hobbies and interests,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
honestly hoping that after this, the time that we're going through right now, we're still able to, travel and do everything. But I am scared that it's gonna cause us to maybe change the way that we travel.
Right.
But
Yeah, I don't think things are gonna go back anytime soon. It's a shitty time for the world. Oh, and just I mean, obviously
but
it's very what's the word?
scary.
Yeah. That is so like it is very scary. It's almost depressing to be honest. Especially I don't know, it's just like I don't even have words for it right now. Anything like this. I don't think anybody's really experienced anything like this. As far as economy wise, yes, people have experienced low economies, but as far as like something like this ever happening, I
Like, no.
no, nothing has ever happened like this. So it's very different. Obviously, I think we're gonna learn from this. Like as the world in general, we're gonna learn from this big mistake that happened, but hopefully it never happens again. But I do see things hopefully getting better. I mean,
I hope. I did ask Jared's grandmother, who lived through World War
mhm.
Who was it? Damn, putting myself on the spot out there like that. Um, and I asked her, I was like, in your lifetime, have you ever experienced anything like this? And she straight out told me, she's like, no. She's like, the closest like that I've experienced like this is when, we would go out to the grocery store, and since the war was going on, like a lot of stuff wouldn't be imported as easily. So there would be limitations on food and stuff like that. But she says from like the stay at home orders and like the closing of businesses, she's like, no, I haven't.
Yeah, and
So
that's
it is scary.
crazy. Very, very scary. And I can't even imagine what people are going through. I feel very, very blessed that I can still work, even though my job drives me nuts. For those who know, I am in property management. Woohoo! And something that we can relate as well. Our
You
friends
can.
both got us into that type of industry, and it's hard one to deal with. And I remember looking back and saying, I'm a very comfortable person. I get in the habit of something, and I'd rather stay in routine. I'm such a Virgo in that sense. Like
Okay.
I'll get my work down packed, and like I'll get so used to something that I won't want change. But now I see why people want to change properties in property management, because the people that are living in my property just drive me nuts. And I just,
Oh,
it's just, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. But
girl, I left because it drove me crazy. So I understand.
and it's just like you don't think you realize that there are like these people out there that just don't think the same way as you. Not that thinking different is bad. There's some people out there that you just question their mental state, and I it's hard to deal with. But I am very grateful that I am still working. I am still able to have a paycheck, so I can't imagine what it's like for people right now. Things are tough.
Ooh. Yeah, their whole life was turned upside down. Like we're living day by day. At least right now, we're kind of like in the middle of, not in the middle of it, but we've lived through it a little bit, where it kind of seems like our new normal. But I
Which
remember in
is
the beginning,
sad.
it is like that you have to put a mask on,
Hmm.
or that you have to disinfect your groceries, which I mean is always a good practice. But now
Right.
to have to do it, it's 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 scary. But we'll live
Um,
through this.
yeah, and I remember yesterday, I had really bad anxiety, and I remember it was Friday. I had a stressful day at work, and I told Eddie on my way home, I was like, "Can we just go to Target? I needed a couple things anyways. I wanted to go to Target." And he's like, "Yeah, let's go." And I'm like, "Yes, it's Friday. I'm in a good mood. I'm off work. I get to go to Target." And then we went, and the line was so long. And Eddie's like, "Are you sure you want to stay here?" And I'm like, "Well, we're already here. Let's just go meet and we can leave." We walked around Target maybe for like around 5 to 10 minutes, and I was like, "This is depressing. I can't even enjoy Target. Like, I don't even want to be
No.
here." And it's just like my mental state is so, um, I guess, morphed to like think the way thinking now that like you shouldn't be out, you shouldn't be enjoying life, you shouldn't be able to do the things you love right now because it's so different. And it just
Yeah.
sucks, but things will get better, and we'll see the end of this soon, hopefully.
Pretty soon, fingers crossed here. But to take this topic a little bit into a lighter subject, I'll finish
Yes.
off my reflection. Traveled a lot, luckily, so that opened my eyes a lot. Um, I'm married now, something that I honestly thought would never happen. I always told people growing up, "Oh, I'm gonna live by myself. Like I'll never get married," just because I knew I was different. And
Mm-hmm.
growing up in a church, like I was always told, that form of living wasn't acceptable. So I accepted that, and I said, you know what? The least I can do is maybe not practice my homosexuality, and at least just maybe be celibate. So I always told people I was gonna never, have a family. I would just be content with having my siblings, kids, and being an uncle. And to now see where I am and like being married to somebody that I've been in a relationship for almost a freaking decade, that's nuts to me. Like to me, if I can give myself some advice to looking at, the kid who I was back then, I'd be like, it's gonna get better for you, kid.
Yeah.
You don't have to conform. I don't know if that's the word. You don't have to take what you think um, you deserve. You deserve so much more. I guess that's what I would tell myself because I never imagined I would be able to be this happy. So
Or to
I guess
not
I
be
would say,
yourself.
yeah, like I guess since the moment that I moved out, I was able to fully express myself.
Yeah.
Like
Experience
I
things. I remember when you
it
first,
oh my gosh, that was crazy to me. Like that was one of the biggest things that I did.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even want to
It's
talk
like
about that.
cutting the cord with your family or
The umbilical cord, yeah.
living. Yeah.
And luckily, fast forward 9 years where we're at today, I still have a pretty amazing relationship with my family, with my siblings. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm happy, with where I am today. And I am blessed to be able to say that because a lot of people don't, aren't able to say that.
Yeah.
So
Especially
that's
for
me.
younger kids right now, especially with I guess it could always whether it was happening 9 years ago, 5 years ago, now, with just people in general just trying to find themselves, especially in a world with Instagram and Snapchat and just like not being able to be fully yourself. You're always trying to be something like somebody else and not fully being yourself. It's
I can't imagine like the youth that's growing up right now feeling like that and having Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, like telling them that's not what you're supposed to be like or like trying to bring them down. Like I remember for me like how hard I felt it was like coming into terms of who I was and now to put myself in somebody's like shoes like where the entire world can by just a simply button, send a comment and you know, going towards a person that's completely different and telling them, hey, your lifestyle, isn't accepted or you don't fit in. Like, I
right,
can't imagine how that would affect me mentally.
right. I
It's
mean,
scary.
it affects us now. I mean, in general, like us being our age, like I mean, we're scrolling through Instagram and all this, and we see these different types of people with different surgeries or the way they look, and you're just like, well, I can't ever be like them, so I won't be successful. So that's, you know, I mean, it's hard
Mm.
growing up nowadays, but anyways, on a different note, getting back onto our podcast and who we are. I love how our conversation completely turned from like who we are, introducing ourselves, to you're not accepted.
For real. But I mean, that's just who I felt like I was back then to who I am now. So, I mean, if anybody out there is listening right now and you feel in that boat, it does get better. It does get better. That is something that I used to like hear as a kid, and I'm like, how can it get better? But honestly, girl, I'm pretty sure you agree as well. Like, life gets so much better as you
Get
grow
older.
and learn. Yeah, it's a
Yes,
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing called life.
right. Times are hard, but it is beautiful. So what do you want? I guess what do you want to get out of podcasting? What is your podcasting goals? What do you want to talk about? What makes you want to podcast?
I feel like it is a great outlet to just express creativity. I feel like I'm a really creative person, so
Hmm.
I feel like it's great to, put all this energy into something, especially right now with a lot of people just being at home and feeling stuck. I want to be able to take this energy that I have and put it into something and create something. I want to be able to talk about different things. Like I said earlier, my experience with foster care. I know I'm going to have, uphill battles and stuff that's going to stress me out. This is going to be an outlet for me to maybe express it to people and
Hmm.
maybe people that are going through it as well are going to be listening and hopefully you can relate and you can feel like you have somebody to talk about it with or that's on your corner as well. I want to talk about everything: gossip, entertainment, um, life events, anything that's going on. I like I'm sure you agree as well. I want it to be an escape for us.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about, I mean, obviously a lot of us are parents now. I mean, even if you're not, you can relate from being like the uncle or the friend that's always over dealing with your kids' parents. Like, I want to talk about how parenting is not perfect, and you may see something on Instagram and be like, how do they have three kids and have their life together? They don't. Let me just tell you that they do not have their life together, and it's okay. Parenting is hard,
It is.
and the differences between parenting your own child versus parenting their child, you and I are going to experience the same things and some things completely different. So it's okay, to talk about parenting fails and how hard it is to be a parent. I want to talk about what we love, which not also, children aside, that's not all I am as a mother. I also am my own person. I love to talk about makeup and things, like you said, going on in the world, things that make me happy, things that stress me out, and just being human.
Yes, sister. Amen to that. Cheers to that if you still have a glass, cause
I have one drop left, and it's almost time to get
same.
another glass. I need a glass.
I'm gonna
Oh
say
my god.
same.
Same,
But
same.
I think this is gonna be really positive for us and it's gonna be a learning experience.
It's
You
gonna
know,
be
every
fun.
episode that we do will be exciting and hopefully, there will be people out there that come along the journey with us and we can create a sense of community, a sense of, oh, it's 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. Wind down with Hossie and Angie is on. I gotta listen to that later when I put my little baby down, or whatever the case may be. So
Yes,
I'm
or
really
even
excited
if
for what we
even if we put it out Wednesday morning, if you're driving to work, hopefully you want to hear what we're talking about, or just literally just getting on and talking, just gossiping, just if you have anything that you guys want us to discuss or talk about, opinions on, let us know. I mean, we are very open to different topics. We would love to hear what you guys want to talk about. We have a few things that we already have lined up, but we definitely need some inspiration.
Yes, we want to hear from everybody. So hopefully by the time that we post this episode up and we publish it, we will have our social medias running so that you guys can find us on there, follow us, engage with us. But yeah, I'm excited to go on this journey with you, Angie.
I'm excited too. Hopefully, we just finished our first podcast. I
We
think
just
we
finished our first podcast.
deserve some snaps right now and some wine.
Snaps.
All right,
Snaps
Jossie.
before I pick another man. Alrighty, my
I
love. Let's go ahead and cheers to that.
I was just about to say, I think it's time to end this episode, our first ever podcast episode, and that way we can go pour ourselves another glass of wine because I am dry. Okay, guys, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in to our very first episode of our podcast of Wind Down with Hassie and Angie. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to our podcast on the Apple Podcast app or Spotify or wherever the hell we're going to post this. We don't even know yet.
Whatever we have.
Follow us on Instagram. Everything will be linked. Obviously, if it's published already, made and posting on there. So follow us, duh. And anything you
Yeah.
guys want to hear in the next episode, just let us know. All right, Jesse, I will talk to you later and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
The next one. Bye, guys.